just come back from a family vacation and you have had a blast. You have soaked in the sun, eaten jalebis soaked in ghee, and croissants soaked in butter. You stand on the scale on your return and realize that what had gone down just went up. You subconsciously start eating less, or worse, go on a crash diet. Watery soups, raw carrots, and salads have replaced common sense. In other words, you punish yourself for having a good time. Food is now your new enemy. Food as your enemy is one of the many poor relationships we have with food. But very few of us are actually aware of how our day-to-day relationships with food actually have the ability to derail our health from the best health that it could ever be in. Why is it so important to understand your relationship with food? Because just like all relationships, some are good for us and some are bad for us. Bad relationships destroy us. Good relationships nurture us. The same happens with food when we have bad relations, where we don't use the food but abuse it. Where food is not your subordinate but is your boss. Where food is not treated as an instrument for nutrition but as an instrument to convince people of how far we have come. In the 15 years that I have counseled over 50,000 clients, the one conclusion that keeps coming back to me again and again, that we have completely stopped listening to our bodies. Our bodies dial in, but we just don't pick up. We eat when we are full. We eat when we are angry or upset. We eat when we are bored, but we don't always eat when we are hungry. Today's talk is about food education, understanding better the many poor relationships we have with food, because understanding these relationships is the first step towards fixing them. And finally, having that body, that health, that life that you have always wanted to have. Let's start with the first of these relationships, food as entertainment. Watch your back Netflix because food is still the hottest form of entertainment. We're far more likely to meet our friends over lunches and dinners and chill with them over brunches, all for the express purpose of connecting with people. Making plans has become more about making reservations. But why is that a bad thing, you ask? It is because when you use food as entertainment, you often overestimate your ability to say no and underestimate how much you actually eat out. Picture this. You're sitting at a table, there are 4 of you, and only one of you want to eat healthy. The other 3 order a plate of fries and insist you take one. It's 3 of them versus 1 of you. You look down at your salad, look up at the plate of fries, and figure that 1 isn't really going to hurt. And as you bite into that crunchy golden goodness just to make someone else happy, you realize that it has been a week since you last ate your French fry and how good it tastes and how much you have missed it. And you take another. And another. By the end of the meal, you have finished far more than what your friends forced you to. Next time will be different, you promise yourself. But will it? Please note, it takes about 3,500 unburnt calories to gain a pound of weight. And that is easier than you think. A medium-sized donut is about 500 calories. Let's assume you eat this once a week for a year, 26,000 calories, 8 pounds of weight. That's the problem with using food as entertainment. If only losing this weight was just as entertaining. Here's a thought. Why not, let's not use food as a form of entertainment? Why is it that you want to catch up with your friends over lunch when you can catch up with them over tea? Why invite your relatives over for dinner when they can come over for a cup of coffee? Meet up with that 15-year-old friend that you haven't met for so long over a brisk walk versus a brunch. Or have a date night with a significant other over a game of bowling versus a high-priced fancy restaurant. You'll just not save calories, you'll save money too. To the next relationship that we sometimes have with food, food as escape. You've had a bad day at office or in your marriage. Or you've had a very good day and you have now decided that you're going to find all the solutions to your problems at the end of an ice cream tub or with bars of chocolate or anything that's sweet, fried, and salty. Well, once you're done, let me tell you that not only will you not find solution to your problem, you will find yourself a whole new set of problems. Using food as escape or emotional eating is a very difficult habit to break because food has been part of us ever since we can remember. We use food to celebrate, to comfort, and to feel good about ourselves. Emotional eating has been part of us forever. And it also really doesn't help when certain foods have inbuilt ingredients that enhance pleasure. Chocolate, for that matter, is that sugary food that kickstarts the reward pathway system in our brain that makes us immediately feel good when we eat it. Over time, we don't only get addicted to that food, we get addicted to that feeling. Feeling bad your favorite TV character was eaten by a dragon? Chocolate it is. Over time, our brain starts to associate certain emotions with certain foods, which is why we keep going back over and over to the same foods every time we're faced with a similar situation. How do you break this relationship? Unhook the association by finding non-food ways to cope with life. Overwhelmed? Go for a walk. Upset? Binge watch your favorite shows on television. Angry? Phone a friend. It may sound easier said than done, but over time, you will find yourself with a whole new way of living. Then we have another relationship with food, food as seduction. Food is everywhere. It's in the malls, it's on your way home. It smells, tastes, sounds, and even looks seducing you everywhere you go. And if it's not food, it is where food doesn't have to be. On television, food channels, cooking shows, celebrity chefs, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, they're all constantly flooding us with tempting food-related images. An environment food scientists like to call obesogenic environment. Did you know that you're far more likely to gain weight by just looking at food? Yes, a study published in the Journal of Brain and Cognition found that just by visually seeing food, it increases the level of ghrelin, a hormone in our body which induces hunger. This is called visual hunger and makes us reach out for food even when we are not hungry. Another study published in the Journal of Appetite found that they conducted a survey with 500 women. Women who watched cooking shows and cooked their food from scratch, and those that did not watch cooking shows but cooked their food from scratch, which means they didn't resort to ready-to-eat foods. It was found that those who watched cooking shows were on an average 12 pounds heavier than those who did not watch TV shows or cooking shows. To burn it off, you must turn it off. And it's not only about television. Have you noticed how they conveniently place chocolate just close to the checkout point so that you may grab one on an impulse just when you're paying the bill? Or how packages come in loud, attractive colors so that you feel like picking them up? It is not done without thought? And how are you asked questions at restaurants? Would you like your burger with single cheese or double cheese? Of course, the answer would be no cheese. Or would you like a 20% extra coffee for the same price? Remember, if you upsize your calories, you upsize the health risks associated with them as well. And what about food apps? How easy is it to order a gourmet meal at half the price, 45 minutes from you arriving back from office? Remember, food is seducing you all the time. So how do we break up with this relationship? For every high-fat, unhealthy food, a low-fat, healthy version can be made. Restaurants are happy to customize. All you have to do is ask. Companies and even restaurants now are forced to put the nutritional label on the packets as well as on their menus so that you can make more informed choices of what you're putting inside your body. There are health apps, fitness trackers, online weight loss portals, exercise apps, all of which to help you get healthier and fitter. While falling off the wagon is easier than before, getting back on track is easier than ever. Food as waste, another very common relationship we have. How many of us have been raised never to waste food? Finish everything that has been on your plate. It is cultural. Indians hate waste. We squeeze out the last drop of milk from the packet and even make koa from the malai, and then use the packet itself. We use every part of the coconut, the husk, the shell, the flesh, the water, all. And nobody recycles leftovers as effectively as we do. But just eating the food because it's going to waste is one of the trickiest ways of fat trickling in. Let's do a little small example. Your child leaves a little bit of food on the plate. You decide that you can't let food go to waste and you must eat it. Say it is about 100 calories a day. You do this 365 days a year, 36,500 calories, just 10 pounds up every year. Not to mention the heart-associated risks and other body organs at risk. Remember, if you are not going to let it go to waste, it will go to your waste. How do you break up with this relationship? Just say no. Storing is the job of the bin, not your stomach. When your stomach is full, walk away. Your dinner is done. We also have another relationship with food, food as enemy. And there are those who are terrified of food and blame one food for being the enemy, because it is that food that they blame because that they are unhappy, unhealthy, overweight, or have diabetes. Food as the enemy is one of the most unhealthiest relationship we can have with food, because you fear the one thing that is keeping you alive. But this fear doesn't always manifest in the most obvious ways. When was the last time you ate a spoon of rice and wondered about how much weight you're going to gain tomorrow morning? Or when was the last time you drank liters and liters of juice just to detox your body? Or when was the last time you decided to start a religious fast right after a binge holiday? Master cleanse, soup salad diets, low-carb diets, starvation diet, that's what fear tastes like. And it is when you start not to feed your body with food, but punish your body with it. How do you break up with that relationship? Remember, food comes with the 5 fingers of nutrition, like I like to call it. 60 to 65% of good carbohydrates, 20 to 25% good quality lean protein, 5 to 10% of good fats, and the rest as vitamins and minerals, all making a packed-full fist that it makes you include almost all the foods that you thought you were not allowed to eat. Thus moving on to our last relationship as food, food as your friend. Now, let us see how food should be actually treated. Not as your enemy, but as your friend. A friend that supports you. A friend that nurtures you. A friend that nourishes you. Moderation is not only key, it is crucial. Let me reacquaint you with your new food friends. Just like we have best friends, friends that we would love to meet every day, or at least speak with every day. There are best friends in foods that you can eat every day, guilt-free, without fear. Roti, rice, dals, pulses, sprouts, chole, rajma, idlis, dosas, fruits, vegetables, all fruits, including mangoes, grapes, potatoes even. Eat them guilt-free every day. And then we have good friends. We like those friends, but we don't love them to meet them every day. These are foods you can eat maybe once or twice a week if you're not trying to lose weight. Cheese, pizzas, fried, muffins, cakes. There are acquaintances. If we meet them, great. If we don't miss them. These are lard, red meat, aerated beverages, shellfish. You see what is being done here? No food is bad for you. All foods are welcome. No food is your enemy. You can eat them all. Yes, you can eat to delete, and you can eat your way to a lighter, healthier, and happier you. As a last thought, I did mention that one of the best relationships to have with food is the one where food is your friend. But what kind of friend should that be? Well, I propose a kind of friendship where the power lies in you. An unequal relationship where you call the shots. A relationship where you are the boss and food is the subordinate. You control food, it does not control you. So as long as you are aware of that distinction, so as long as you are in charge, food will never, ever let you down.